Big Blue, stop right now. MetLife Stadium just exploded with breaking news, and 3 massive roster earthquakes just collided in East Rutherford. Over $37 million in contract value is hanging in the balance, a former Pro Bowl playmaker was just shown the exit door, and John Harbaugh is aggressively raiding his former AFC powerhouse locker room to rebuild New York. Insiders just confirmed the first major shocker. Running back Najee Harris is officially in New York on a high-stakes signing, causing an immediate wave of roster casualties across the depth chart. If you bleed blue, white, and red more than you despise the Cowboys and Eagles, hit that like button and subscribe right now. We jump straight into the roster moves that have Big Blue buzzing, because this 5-part breakdown finishes with an explosive double cliffhanger you cannot afford to miss. A sudden shift on the defensive front office board caught everyone off guard on Monday morning, triggering massive questions across the entire organization. Whispers turned into footsteps down the hallway at the Quest Diagnostics Training Center. The name? Chandler Martin. Now watch the shift unfold across East Rutherford. Head coach John Harbaugh has made it abundantly clear since taking over the reins in New York that he is not hesitant about reconstructing the franchise in the image of his championship past in Baltimore. Over the course of a transformative offseason, Big Blue has already welcomed notable former Ravens contributors such as tight end Isaiah Likely, fullback Patrick Ricard, offensive tackle Daniel Failali, and defensive back Ardarius Washington. Linebacker Chandler Martin represents the newest puzzle piece in this systematic roster transition. According to a confirmation from NFL insider Adam Schefter, the Giants officially agreed to terms with the second-year pro immediately following their 13-10 preseason opening loss against the Minnesota Vikings. Martin is not arriving with national superstar fanfare, but what he brings to the field is an intimate understanding of Harbaugh's physical system and a relentless drive on special teams. He originally entered the league as an undrafted free agent in Baltimore, initially missing out on the primary 53-man cut before clawing his way onto the active roster late in the year. During that span, he logged 34 critical snaps across 3 regular season contests, operating exclusively within special teams units where his aggressive pursuit angles caught the coaching staff's attention. Martin never recorded a single defensive snap during his time in Baltimore, but his impact in the third phase of the game made him an indispensable developmental piece. However, his initial ascension hit a devastating setback when he suffered a severe torn ACL that abruptly ended his rookie season. After undergoing exhaustive rehabilitation, Schefter confirmed that Martin has been fully medically cleared for contact and football activities. The Philadelphia Eagles initially signed Martin earlier this offseason to evaluate his recovery, but ultimately released him before the start of training camp. Now, New York represents the newest proving ground for the resilient linebacker. The path forward will be an uphill climb, as the Giants already possess a remarkably crowded linebacker room. Starters Tremaine Edmonds and Arvell Reese sit firmly atop the depth chart, while Micah McFadden and standout rookie Jack Kelly have solidified their positions as primary rotational backups. Even Darius Muasau, who started 11 games for New York last year, is fighting vigorously to secure his roster status against rising talents Zaire Barnes and Anfernee Orji. Yet, because Harbaugh began his NFL coaching journey as a renowned special teams coordinator, he values players who dominate coverage lanes and execute assignments without error. Martin's background gives him a unique operational advantage over traditional reserve linebackers who lack elite special teams pedigree. This transaction was also accompanied by a broader roster shakeup on Monday, as general manager Joe Schoen signed quarterback Jake Haener to intensify signal caller competition and hosted veteran running back Najee Harris for an extensive workout, simultaneously releasing running back Dante Miller to create roster flexibility. Is Harbaugh's calculated strategy of importing former Ravens the exact formula to restore New York's defensive dominance, or will this crowded linebacker room squeeze out Martin before Week 1? Drop your prediction in the comments right now. If you trust Harbaugh's vision to rebuild this defense, smash that like button right away. But as intense as this defensive battle looks, our second story takes us directly into the offensive trenches where a $37 million question mark is fighting for his NFL future. The medical staff emerged from behind closed doors on Monday morning with an update that could define the trajectory of New York's entire offensive front. The locker room held its breath as trainers reviewed the neurological tests, knowing how fragile the protection schemes looked just days prior. The identity everyone was waiting on. Starting center John Michael Schmitz. Beat reporter Dan Dugan provided the massive confirmation that Schmitz has officially cleared the league's concussion protocol and returned to full team practice drills on Monday. This critical return provides immense relief to an offensive line that faced heavy scrutiny following the preseason opener. Schmitz originally sustained his concussion on August 7th during a high-intensity 11-on-11 rushing drill at training camp. The 27-year-old offensive anchor took a heavy blow to the helmet, which head coach John Harbaugh described as getting his bell rung, requiring him to be escorted off the field by athletic trainers and placed inside the blue medical evaluation tent. The timing of the injury created immediate anxiety across the fanbase, as Schmitz was forced to sit out the preseason clash against the Minnesota Vikings. However, Dugan's latest dispatch indicates that Schmitz is progressing rapidly and tracking toward full participation in Saturday's upcoming matchup against the Miami Dolphins. Alongside Schmitz, several key contributors rejoined team drills, including veteran backup center Lucas Patrick, who returned after receiving a platelet-rich plasma injection to calm persistent inflammation in his knee, as well as cornerbacks Greg Newsome, Drew Phillips, and Paulson Adebo. For John Michael Schmitz, good health is only the baseline expectation. Performance is where the mounting pressure truly begins. Selected with the 57th overall pick in the 2023 draft, JMS has experienced a turbulent tenure characterized by flashes of potential, shadowed by stretches of mediocre play. Durability has developed into a glaring concern, with the former Minnesota standout missing 10 games across his first 3 seasons and being sidelined for at least 2 contests in every single campaign. Last year alone, Schmitz missed 2 early matchups due to a concussion before an unfortunate finger and hand injury prematurely concluded his season on injured reserve. When Schmitz and Patrick were both sidelined against Minnesota, the starting center responsibilities fell squarely onto Brian Hudson, a 2024 undrafted free agent out of Louisville. Hudson logged 33 total snaps, finishing with a middle-of-the-road overall grade of 65.6 from Pro Football Focus, comprising a 44.4 pass-blocking grade and a 69.4 run-blocking mark. While Hudson finished as the second highest-graded offensive starter behind rookie right guard Francis Mauigoa, his outing was not dominant enough to challenge Schmitz for the primary starting role. Spotrac currently evaluates Schmitz's projected market value at a substantial 3-year, $37.3 million extension, translating to an average annual salary of $12.4 million. That represents a massive financial commitment for an offensive lineman who enters the decisive final year of his rookie contract with plenty to prove on the field. Schmitz has an entire 16-game slate to showcase elite pass protection, eliminate interior pressure, and convince Joe Schoen that he warrants a lucrative long-term investment. Can John Michael Schmitz finally stay healthy and justify a $12 million annual contract? Or should the Giants prioritize drafting an elite center next spring? Sound off below with your honest evaluation. And if you believe Schmitz can anchor this offensive line to a top-tier ranking, hit that thumbs up right now. But while the trenches receive a vital boost, our third story covers a shocking veteran cut that sent shockwaves through the wide receiver room. A high-profile veteran playmaker arrived at the team facility on Tuesday, expecting to compete for a starting role, only to be notified that his time in New York was officially over. The front office operated swiftly, executing a decisive personnel swap that caught analysts and fans completely by surprise. The player shown the door? Former Pro Bowl wide receiver JUJU Smith-Schuster. In a dramatic corresponding maneuver confirmed by ESPN insider Adam Schefter, the Giants terminated Smith-Schuster's contract while concurrently finalizing the high-profile signing of running back Najee Harris. The organizational move effectively replaced one former Pittsburgh Steelers offensive cornerstone with another in a matter of hours. Smith-Schuster originally signed with New York back on June 1st. Joining the roster on the exact same afternoon, the front office brought in return specialist Braxton Berrios and 3-time Pro Bowler Odell Beckham Jr. to counteract an early rash of off-season injuries. However, the 29-year-old receiver struggled to gain traction and failed to capitalize on the opportunity. Skepticism regarding Smith-Schuster's physical explosiveness began circulating during organized team activities, when video footage of him laboring through routes and dropping routine passes gained widespread attention online. Those concerns materialized under game conditions during Saturday's 13-10 loss against Minnesota, where Smith-Schuster failed to record a single target across multiple offensive possessions. In contrast, Beckham secured 2 receptions in limited action, while Berrios demonstrated dynamic versatility by hauling in a 9-yard pass and returning 2 punts for 30 combined yards. Beckham and Berrios remain active on the roster and are scheduled to take the field against the Miami Dolphins this Saturday. While modernized NFL practice squad regulations present a theoretical pathway for New York to retain JUJU as emergency insurance, he is currently free to explore opportunities with other franchises across the league. A former 2017 second-round draft choice, Smith-Schuster boasts career numbers featuring 481 receptions for 5,625 yards and 33 touchdowns. His pinnacle arrived during his sensational 2018 Pro Bowl season in Pittsburgh, where he posted 111 receptions for 1,426 yards and 7 touchdowns. However, a major shoulder injury in 2021 followed by physical wear has severely altered his career trajectory. Despite a productive 78-catch campaign with Kansas City in 2022, Smith-Schuster has failed to exceed 35 receptions or 350 receiving yards in each of the past 3 seasons, transitioning his profile into a situational reserve. Looking at the current depth chart, Berrios holds a decisive advantage to survive the upcoming 53-man cut due to his specialized return skills, whereas Beckham faces a fierce battle strictly as a boundary receiver. With primary wideout Malik Nobers practicing at full speed, rookie Malachi Fields turning heads with a touchdown catch from quarterback Jackson Dart, and the reliable trio of Darius Slayton, Darnell Mooney, and Calvin Austin III locked into prominent roles. The wide receiver room is overflowing with speed and agility. The addition of Najee Harris adds elite contact balance to the offensive backfield, giving John Harbaugh the bruising ground presence his system requires. Did Joe Schoen make the right call by cutting JUJU Smith-Schuster to make room for Najee Harris, or will the Giants regret releasing a veteran receiver before the regular season begins? Smash that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments. 3 critical roster transactions have officially rewritten the expectations in New York as training camp approaches its most intense phase. John Harbaugh is establishing an uncompromising, physically dominant standard from top to bottom by adding special teams enforcers like Chandler Martin and reinforcing disciplined execution across all 3 phases of the game. Along the offensive line, the timely return of starting center John Michael Schmitz provides crucial stability for the pocket, setting the stage for a career-defining season with millions in future earnings on the line. And by parting ways with JUJU Smith-Schuster to clear runway for the powerful arrival of Najee Harris, the front office proved that past accolades will not outweigh present production in the quest to build a contender. Big Blue is operating with urgency and precision, structuring a dynamic roster that can battle toe-to-toe in the trenches every single week. If these pieces gel quickly, the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles will encounter a relentless, hard-hitting Giants squad when division play kicks off. Here is what I need from Big Blue Nation right now. First, smash that like button if you believe John Harbaugh will lead this team to a winning record this season. Second, drop a comment with your prediction for how many rushing yards Najee Harris will produce in his debut season in New York. Third, subscribe right now so you never miss an update on breaking Giants roster news and depth chart battles. Now, stay locked in for our explosive double cliffhanger. First, an insider rumor indicates that the Giants front office is currently fielding trade inquiries regarding one of their veteran offensive players, and a deal could materialize before Saturday's kickoff against Miami. Second, down in Texas, the Dallas Cowboys are aggressively working the phones to sign a recently released veteran playmaker to directly counteract New York's latest offensive additions. Which blockbuster move becomes official first? Hit subscribe, sound off below, and let's go Giants!